Hello.
Hi Rajni, how are you?
I'm good, ma'am. Thank you so much for asking. How about you?
Doing good, thank you. Yes, let's start. So, what is your
Mhm.
agenda today? What do you want to know?
First of all, I want to remind you one thing. In the last to last session, you said you would send rhyming words to me after the session, and I guess you forgot because you had another sessions after that.
Yes, that's so. Generally, I don't forget it. One second, I'll send it to you right away. I'll send it to Vikas right away. He will be able to forward it to you.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah. So sorry. Yes. Next.
Yeah, that was the only thing that I wanted to remind you. Otherwise, in the last session, we discussed about the articles, so people like the session, and also I asked the question about the preposition also because I'm also taking sessions and having conversations with learners every single day, and they are struggling with these small tiny mistakes with preposition also. So I would like to know about that too.
Okay, so prepositions, actually there are so many. We would not be able to take all the prepositions in one session, but yes, of course, we can start, a few in the list, which are very, very important. And probably, slowly and gradually, as soon as we move on to the sessions, you can have the list ready and we can move on. So in today's session, we will take the basic ones like to, at, in, on, about, above, below, beside, between.
Okay.
Yes, I'm pretty sure by the time we'll be able to finish these, the
Mhm.
time will be over. So let's start. So let's talk about two. Whenever you talk about two, what is your understanding about it?
True.
Two.
We use to for a particular place
Mhm.
and like maybe for direction too.
Okay. So basically, two is often used to indicate direction or movement toward or destination or maybe a goal. Okay. So for
Uh-huh.
example, she is going to school. So you are indicating a direction or there is a movement toward a destination or she has a goal that I have to go to school. Okay, so that is the first place where you can use to. The second is it can also indicate a recipient or a target for an action. Okay, what do you mean by target for an action? So for example, she gave a gift to her sister. Now the target
Mhm.
is sister. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, the third thing is in some cases, to is used to express a time or limit. So, for example, um, the store is open from 10 to 5. So, 10
Mhm.
a.m. to 5, I'm trying to express a time or a limit. So,
That
that's
always comes with from too. Always comes with from.
yes, open from, I mean, the starting point you have to give and to what time. So a time or a limit when you are trying to express it. That point in time you can use to. Easy? Okay. Let's move on to the next one, at. Now,
Mhm.
at is used to specify a particular point or a location. There are so many people, they get confused with the usage of at. Always
Uh-huh.
remember, whenever you are trying to specify particular
Mhm.
point or a location, that point in time you're using at. So, for example, they met me at the coffee shop. Okay.
Mhm.
Now, the coffee shop, you are pointing it out which coffee shop, and at that is a particular point or a location. Okay.
Mhm.
Second, when it can indicate a specific time also. So, for example, the meeting with Rajni is at 6 p.m.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we can use at.
Mhm.
That can also be used in expression when you try to give your expressions related to events and situations. So, for
Okay.
example, she was shocked at the news.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
So that is at is used in expression related to some kind of situation or it could be an event.
Mhm.
Easy?
Yeah.
Okay. Next is in. You know, in
Before moving to in, I want to know, like, we use at for platforms. So, sometimes I have seen many people while putting the title on videos. So some people use the session on English Shari, or some people use the session at English Shari. So what is the correct one? On or at?
when you are trying to relate it with the situation, okay, this
Mhm.
was the situation in English Shari, and this was my confrontation, or this was my session. That point in time, you can use at. Okay, so
Mhm.
here you're trying to express, you're giving expressions related to some situation or an event.
Mhm.
So that one, to event or situation, that point in time, you can use at. But when you say, the session, what did you say the other one, in or on?
On.
On. On English Shari, that you're talking about app. On this app or on this platform, then I use it. Then that one in time you are using it.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
that is not a location actually that you are mentioning.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
ideally for location, you can use at, but at this point in
Mhm.
time, I'm talking about a specific event or a situation, what had happened. So you can use for situation, event, you can use at. Okay,
Mhm.
like I said, she was surprised at the news.
Mhm.
I was stunned at the session, at the event. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Mhm.
Okay. Next is in. In is used when you are trying to indicate a location within an enclosed space, or it could be a larger area. Okay. So
Mhm.
for example, the book is in the backpack.
Mhm.
Okay. So that is enclosed space,
Mhm.
larger area, and the book is this much. So book is in the backpack. Okay.
Mhm.
Second is it can indicate a period of time. So for example, I will be back in a minute. I will be back in an hour. Okay, you can use that.
Mhm.
Third thing is in can be used to express if you have any kind of involvement, or if anybody has any kind of involvement in your situation or in any kind of activity. So for example, she is interested in learning English.
Mhm.
Okay, so that is an activity. In learning knitting, it's an activity. So
Mhm.
is used to express the involvement in a situation or any activity, you can use
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Is it? Sorry. Next is on. Now, on is used to indicate, first of all, a position or location on a
Mhm.
surface. So, for example, if I say the keys are on the table.
On the table. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm saying I'm indicating a position or probably a location on a surface.
Mhm.
Okay. At times when we try to indicate a specific day or date, we can use it on. So for example,
Mhm.
the party is on Saturday.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can use on. The
Mhm.
next is on can be used to show support or maybe contact with something. So for example, um, she she wrote the message on the table, or she wrote a message on the whiteboard, not the table, whiteboard. So what are you
Mhm.
using? On is used to show support or contact with something. Something is you're using whiteboard. So she wrote a message on the whiteboard. Easy. Okay. Next is about. Now, why about is used, in two instances, basically. First of all, I want to say whenever you are using discussion, okay, we never use about. So, for example, if I say, I want to discuss something, I want to discuss the event with you. We never say, I want to discuss about the event. Okay, so
Mhm.
discussion is already about that particular topic. So, you don't have to use about. Okay, so
With
very
discussion.
discussion.
Okay.
I want to
Okay.
discuss with you. Okay,
Okay.
I want to discuss
Recording
about
has
this
stopped.
with you. That is not making sense.
Mhm.
Okay. So the very first thing above is used to indicate the subject or topic of a discussion or the focus of an action.
Mhm.
Okay, so for example, they were talking about vacation plans. They were talking about vacation plans. I'm not saying discussing about. I
Mhm.
would say they were discussing their vacation plans.
Okay.
When you're using about, then discuss word is not required. Basically, you're already discussing. Topic of the discussion is vacation plan. Okay.
Mhm.
So they were talking about their vacation plans. Okay. Next is, it can also indicate an approximate number or time. So for example, the meeting will start at about 3:30.
At about, both together.
Yes. At
Ah.
about, you're giving approximate number or time. Okay.
Mhm.
About, somewhere about. Okay. And you are specifying the time also. So we have already discussed about timing.
Yeah.
You know? So at you are using, so you can say either people generally use it at approximately 3:30.
Mhm.
Okay. But in case if you want to use, you want to indicate the approximate number or time, you can certainly use it. Okay. So the meeting will start at about 3:30. Okay. Next is above. We all know above is indicating something at a higher position or maybe a level compared to another objects. So if I say the plane was flying above the clouds, okay, so that means cloud is a level above the clouds. That means higher position.
Fine. Yeah.
Okay. Next is, it can also refer to something mentioned earlier in the text. We always use it in our emails or messages, as stated above, the deadline is next week.
Okay.
We
Okay.
always use that. So that above is already there. So you can indicate that also. When you talk about below, okay, soon after above, I'm taking below so that you can have a connection. Just the opposite of above. Like I said, higher level, higher position or level compared to another object. This is lower position or low, level compared to another object.
Mhm.
So for example, the fish are swimming below the surface. So this is the surface of water and fish is swimming here. Okay.
Oh.
So the fish are swimming below the surface.
Mhm.
Okay. And it can also refer to something which you have mentioned earlier in the text. So for example, kindly see the chart below for more information about the event or whatever information you are writing.
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay? So
Same
that's
as
all.
you can use above.
Above is first and below you're mentioning, please see the information below. Easy?
Yeah.
Okay. Next is beside. Beside, I have not seen people generally use it, but beside is a very beautiful word here. Now, let me tell you, beside is used to indicate being next to or by the side of someone or something. So, for example, I sat beside my friend in the movie theater. So, beside means next to my friend.
Next.
Okay.
People use beside, but they get confused between beside and besides.
Yeah. Besides means except. I can do anything besides this.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is except. But beside, without an S, here you are talking about next to. I'm standing
Next.
beside the building.
Mhm.
I'm standing beside my car. Okay, so
Yeah.
here you are trying to indicate being next to or by the side of someone or something. Okay, next is, it can also imply a comparison between two things. So for example, the new design looks small beside the old one.
Okay.
Okay, so you are trying to imply a comparison between two things.
Okay.
Okay, next is between. We all know between is used to indicate the position or the relationship of the objects, people, or ideas that are in the middle of two or more things, right?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
here the example, let's say the book is placed between the two book ends. Okay, it is somewhere between this part. Okay, so just try to find out that book. Okay, so what are we trying to do? We are trying to show that the position of this book is somewhere in the middle of these two ends.
Yeah.
Okay, so the book is placed between the two bookends. Next is, it can also indicate a choice or relationship involving two parties. They had to decide between going to beach or staying home. And you must have heard a famous one. It is between you and me. Please don't involve anybody.
Yeah.
Right? We always use that. So that is the famous one. You can use it. Okay. I think we still have time. We can cover one or two more. So let's do under. Okay. Now, under is very easy. If you want to indicate something below or beneath another object, you can use under. So, for example, the cat is hiding under the table, or the cat is sleeping under the bed, right? So, there we are trying to indicate something is below another object. Okay. Also, second thing is it shows a position or state of being controlled or influenced by someone or something. So, for example, the project is under the supervision of my manager. Okay, so that is, it is being controlled or influenced or supervised. Okay, so that point in time, we can use this word under. Easy?
Yeah.
Last but not the least, I would like to say with and without, because a lot of people are confused with. Okay. So sorry, I have a sore throat. With. Now, with is used to indicate being accompanied by or having something or someone else. So, for example, I went to party with my best friend. So, being accompanied by someone. So, I'm saying with him. So, that means we had a company. Okay. Being accompanied by or having something or someone else. So that one in time, you can talk about with. Second is, it can also indicate the means or instrument used to do something. So for example, I wrote the letter with a pen. Okay, so with the help of my pen, I wrote this letter. So you are indicating what was the means of instrument that you used to do this. Okay, so that one in time we can use with. Let's come to without. Now, without is used to indicate the absence of something or someone. Okay, so for example, I managed to finish my work without any help. That means absence of anybody's help or anything's help, neither internet nor any live person. Okay, you can say she managed to finish the race without any help, or I managed to finish my work without any help or without my manager or without any extra effort. Okay, so even effort was missing. I just did it seamlessly, right? Second, it can also imply something in the absence of specific condition. So for example, he ate Chinese without a fork. Okay. So here we are trying to imply on that specific condition, he did something in the absence of a specific condition. He didn't have a plate, but he ate his lunch without a plate. Okay. So these are just few examples of, common prepositions which I wanted to share, but there are many more, with various uses, and probably, a lot of places you will find that you can use it. But as you encounter them in context, you will become more familiar with their meanings, and also you will see how they function in sentences. Okay, so that's all from my side, Rajni. Do you still have any questions?
Yeah, you explained already in a well manner, and I got to know something new that is beside used with, for comparison that I didn't know before. Like I knew like beside is used for next to one, or if you are standing next to a building, next to your car, so we use beside, but I didn't know about comparison. So thank you so much for providing the best knowledge.
Anytime, Rajni. Pleasure is all mine. Take good care of yourself. See you again sometime. Have a great day.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Bye.